Hey everybody, welcome back to Small Couch Reviews. Your boy Sam and Jovi. I did it for him. but we also have a special guest, the boy Matt Jones from Lunch Money Reviews, man. Thank you for joining us. Today we
Oh,
are
nice.
talking about Echo,
Echo,
the
echo,
Marvel
echo.
series. Yeah, I don't think it's been a secret on this channel. I've not been enthused about these shows at all.
No, no.
Um Except with I loved me some Loki. I thought that was
Well,
probably the
yeah,
best thing they put out this year.
it's a masterpiece.
Marvel.
Yeah.
But yeah. But this is TVMA. I think it's under their new banner because it says Marvel Spotlight,
Yeah.
which I
Yep.
guess is for their TV
There.
shows, I think it's for.
I didn't know if it was even TV shows or their adult content.
That's what
So
I
I
think.
Yeah.
It must be there.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
So maybe will Deadpool fall under that? I have
Oh,
no
maybe. Yeah,
idea.
maybe it's their adult content. Because this is their first TVMA one. It follows in line with the Punisher, and we follow
Yes. Yes.
Echo from starting off right where she left off in Hawkeye after
Hawkeye.
shooting the
Kingpin.
Kingpin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All
Her
right,
uncle.
man. So
Her,
I
her
mean, we're
uncle.
gonna her uncle, as she
Her
calls him.
uncle. Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this. There are gonna be some spoilers, so if you have not watched it, go watch it. Come back here, or if you don't care, just stick around and listen to the conversation.
There we
All right.
go.
So, Jovi, I see you were chomping at the bit in our little, I guess pre-recording when we were talking. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and start, bro. What do you want to get off your chest, man?
Okay. You know how we do it here, the good and the bad. If you ever come see us in person, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't know if I have any uglies for this, but I will say some of the bad is I know what this was for, right? We know what this was for. This was an introduction of a character, giving them their own little in-between scene. But we
Yeah,
also got an introduction to the street level crime that we will see forever because now not only is Kingpin, the Punisher, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron
Iron Fist.
Fist all now part of this real Marvel universe that we know and love. So
It's weird that they announced that because I always thought they were in it. So I don't know why they needed to officially announce it.
it's like you didn't have to. You would see posters, or people would kind of like talk about these characters. Like you knew they
Yeah,
were in the same and on the same timeline. So
They
yeah,
kind of they kind of made it confusing at first when they were like when they did announce that they were gonna bring this universe over to Disney
oh
Plus.
yeah,
They
yeah,
only were able to say, okay, Daredevil's gonna be the one that they didn't really specify that Luke
right,
Cage was gonna also be there or
Ah,
anybody
okay.
yeah.
else.
But
So it
it's
was
like
like,
you
okay,
had a whole
you had to assume,
series
yeah, you had to
with this
assume.
Right.
character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess they had to get the money right. I don't know.
yeah. No, and
Ah,
it's
okay,
true.
gotcha.
It's probably what it is. And then like we all clapped when we saw him in Spider-Man. Like it was. I mean, he's a great Matthew Murdock. Whatever. That's not what we're here for. We know that this is the series, and this is what Marvel's been doing, which me and Sam do not like, just to give you a taste of what's coming. Don't make something just for that.
Yeah.
That's not, I would have much rather had a more complete 5-episode series than here's this character that we're going to throw some mystical stuff at because we've been throwing mystical stuff at you with all these random characters for
That's the one
the
thing I hated the most, bro.
last 10 shows and episode in movies. We're sprinkling this mystical thing. um Shout out to representation. We love representation over here. ASL all day. Awesome.
Hmm.
If you don't like to read, you're not gonna like this series. So that could be an
You say
ugly
that
for
every time, bro. You
if
must
you
know
don't.
somebody who doesn't like to read
No,
personally. You
people
must.
do not like to read.
That's why the market we don't get a lot of like big foreign films in the market because for
And
some
then
reason that's just the way that it
that's
is.
it.
If you can
And
get past subtitles, it would open a lot of the American audience up to like
yes,
great
and
movies.
that's
Right.
the ugly. If you don't like to read and you don't appreciate representation, we had a whole tribe Literally. So that is something that you missed at the end, Matt. They give a shout out. Though all of those people, that tribe, everything, the lore, that is from an actual tribe in Oklahoma.
Nice.
Mhm.
So that's really dope. That's
That's
really
I
dope.
like that representation a lot too.
Yeah. We don't see that. And then coming from me, we always talk about African American side of, and then just like African history, but myself being Native American, it was cool to see it on TV.
And real quick, just in case people don't know, the main star, I think her name is Alka or Alakwa. I hope I'm saying it right.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna
Cox,
try.
but Echo,
Yeah.
the main character,
Yeah.
she is actually a Native American deaf amputee. Like,
Yes.
she's actually all three of those things, and I think
She-
it's really cool.
Bruh, a little
And,
Native American amputee, someone that speaks sign language. This is their superhero. They have a superhero now. That's cool, right? So I'm going to give that positive. But going back to how just the structure of the series and how that first episode was literally a copy of what we saw in Hawk. I didn't need that. Did we need?
What do you mean it was a copy of what we saw?
Those are
in Hawkeye?
exact same. Those are scenes.
They did a lot of recalling, and basically they added things
Nah,
to
bro,
fill
hold
in.
on.
They did a lot of recalling. Her
And
up
then it
against
was
the wall, watching Hawkeye through the thing. Like,
Okay,
pretty sure-
yeah. When he was Ronin, okay, that.
Yeah, and then there's
Bro,
certain
that was
things.
like maybe
no.
5
But
minutes.
even him, I mean, but it was like him saying like we are the same and da 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 da. And like,
Yeah.
it was a lot of recalling. Yeah, it was a lot of recalling. Yeah,
And he kept doing this. We're family.
I love his character though, man.
Like,
He kills that joint.
Yeah.
We're all we have. Like, so it's like, no, that's oh, we haven't gotten to the good. That's you've already said it. That's yes. That is my Kingpin, and I want to see more of Kingpin.
Yeah.
So like going to that, fighting Daredevil, amazing.
That was a great scene.
I was like, all right, dope. Some of those shots, people getting shot in the head, her choking somebody out, awesome. That's TVMA. But I'm like, cool.
I think that's the most violent scene in the entire series, though. Real talk.
Them fighting in the skating rink.
I was going to say, yeah,
there wasn't. I mean, people were getting shot, but it wasn't as graphic as this.
Okay, there we go. Yeah,
and I think they did that just to draw you in.
That goes into why I mentioned all that, because I was like, we're about to get another Daredevil style show. And we got, I don't know what we got. It was each episode, if I didn't watch them like 2 by 2, like most of us here did, like we watched the next episode. We didn't just watch singular episodes. If I didn't have them together, I didn't like them individually. I didn't like them individually at all. And that was my biggest gripe. I'm not going to go too far.
I think it's the second episode.
Yeah.
It's the second one. I don't feel like that pushed the narrative forward that much. It was when she robbed the train. Or not robbed the train, but she sent the train.
So she sent the train.
I was like, okay.
I wanted to know.
It's cool to see you and your cousin doing this, but there's like, what did I get out of this? So, like, yeah.
What more came from it besides them knowing who runs that area? Her uncle. She must be there, but they already knew she was there because homie at the skates, cleaning the skates, called. So what did that do? Kingpin did show up. So maybe that.
But Joby, to your point, I do think that's probably why they released all 5 episodes at once, because they anticipated people watching it that way.
You could, if I had the time, and as a whole, I enjoy it as a whole. I do not like them as individual episodes. Even the last episode, which Matt will talk about a little bit after we get your take on the series and get Sam's take on it. Talk about the last episode and how I'm like, it doesn't culminate to something huge. It culminates to something very minuscule, that if they don't use her character and they don't continue to use Kingpin as a villain, this whole series kind of gets just brushed to the side.
It's
It
like the
just happened.
Eternals. It's like the
Right.
Eternals.
Everything that was set up in the Eternals that we have not seen.
It's like, what was that even for?
So going to the good for me, Kingpin. We love, all three of us love Kingpin in the 90s with Spider-Man. You knew when you saw him in an episode, that episode was going to be fire. Every time I see him on screen now with Marvel, I'm like, all right, what is he about to do? What is he about to? His mind is his power. And that's what makes him such a great.
Apparently
he's
his
huge.
soul as
Well,
well.
right. Yeah, you can get shot in the head. I want them to explain that. Even if you look up Kingpin, like as a character, they say he has like super strength, but never explain why he has it.
Right.
And, like, it's no explanation. Like, I would love if, maybe he got splashed with some of the stuff that gave Daredevil his powers. Then that would make sense. That's never said in any comic. It's just he's big, he's strong, and he's smart.
But that was like kind of the reason why we loved the Kingpin, because he's kind of like the Batman, but he's the villain version of Batman.
Right.
It's like my superpower is my money and my influence. And like if you get within arm's distance, you're gonna feel these hands as well.
When
so it's
the entire police department backed down when he got out the car and walked over, I was like, yo, they're showing his power. Even the last season of Daredevil, his influence on the entire city was shown. And so that did translate into this, which I loved. I already talked about representation. So the main actor, she's great. She's great. When to use, being able to evoke emotion without having to speak.
She didn't speak once, and that's what I was gonna get into. Man.
She spoke to her grandmother when she said, "You chose you over me."
Very, very little,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that joint, I was like, damn, she really did. The side characters, I could have done without her cousin. I could have.
Which cousin? The girl?
Both.
Oh, okay.
I thought she was going to have I thought she was going to end up with powers. Like, I thought she was important. I thought that was going to come from. Why do you start the series showing a little girl with Maya and she's just a cousin?
Yeah.
That doesn't. So this is very critical, y'all. I'm being super critical because I enjoyed the series as a whole. Just don't feel like it flowed into something. I don't know. I liked Hawkeye way better than this.
I think I did too. I think Hawkeye and Loki are still being the series.
Hawkeye's one of those. It's like
no one talks about that joint.
How good and how enjoyable that joint is. Much later.
Yeah. I enjoyed this better than She-Hulk, but I wasn't the one that hated She-Hulk.
I actually like She-Hulk.
I was.
Yeah. Yes, you were the one that hated She-Hulk.
I'm did not like.
But I like this a little better than She-Hulk, action-wise, not story. Because again, I did not like this story. Didn't like.
Well, She-Hulk wasn't meant to have action, though, was it?
She's
I actually feel like She-Hulk was a great representation of She-Hulk. I just didn't like the show. Like that's
yeah. But it's like it was supposed to be Ally McBeal from Marvel.
Okay, I see.
That's what She-Hulk was supposed to be. So yes, it did what it was supposed to do. I just wanted more because it's Marvel. And I'm going to end it on that because we got a guest and we got Sam to talk about.
Yeah, man, I want to hear what you got to say, Matt, before because what I got to say is very quick. But let's hear what your thoughts are.
So if you want to go to how we do it, if you want to do the good, the bad, or the bad and the good, or you want to do the good, the bad, you want to sprinkle something in there, we are not. You do you, and how you would do a review for this.
So why is this show even happening, right? So when we find out that the show is coming from Marvel, I have to anticipate at this point that it's going to tie into an additional storyline. They're going to build something that will make this valuable, right? And this is
Why do
like
you feel that way? Just out of curiosity.
just I mean, historically speaking, that's why we fell in love with the MCU. Like it
Mhm.
was one of the first movie franchises where you had to stay after the credits because you know this is going to tie into something else, right? That was the
Mhm.
Okay.
excitement that you had. That was the golden age, back when you didn't find out a movie was coming out on the internet months earlier, but you just like went to the movies, and that post-credit scene, you would hear people yelling and shouting because something is coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where now it's like, okay, whereas before these were very valuable and essential pieces to a puzzle, now it just seems like you're doing it because you know that people will buy into it. They will buy into it enough that they will watch as many episodes as you have, especially when there's only five, right? And you
Yeah.
drop them all at the same time, right? You're gonna watch every episode because you
Yeah.
anticipate, okay, this is going to tie in. I'll just go on record and just say this is probably one of my least favorite things that Marvel has come out with. Um,
Okay.
and it's not because I dislike the character. I actually think the character is phenomenal. I really
Yes.
like the character in Hawkeye. When I found out that Echo was getting a show, I'm like, that's gonna be fired. Especially considering Echo was never a happy character. She was never like a nice character. So this being the first TVMA representation for Marvel or Disney Plus, I'm like, oh, they're going to go ham. Kind of like the first time that we got a real, no matter how good or bad it was, but like the first time we got like a real rated R Marvel movie in The Punisher, it was like, oh, we know they about to go ham in this movie. We know
Mhm.
that it's about to be like blood
Yeah.
and guts. Same thing with Logan. As soon as you found out that Logan was coming out and it was gonna be rated R, you're like,
Yes. Now
oh, they're
that
gonna
was
go
Oh
rated
yeah.
ham.
R.
Finally, I
There's gonna be
remember.
some F
Yeah.
bombs dropped. There's gonna
Yeah.
be some heads rolling. Like we knew that that was gonna be a thing. I'm not gonna lie, I expected it to be far more groundbreaking in the space of like Disney Plus introducing a TVMA show,
Yeah.
whether that was through the language, the subject matter. I felt like it still called back to like the cookie cutter Disney Marvel stuff. And I mean, like that's when you brought up like cousins and all of that. I'm like,
Mhm.
yo, they were so pointless to the storyline for me that it's like I would have
Nothing.
rather watched a like version of this show that's kind of like Taken, or like where it's just her and she's upset and she's hunting down and she's like, handling business.
Yeah.
Like I would have appreciated an approach like that, but I feel like Marvel has to find a way to even make a TVMA show kind of okay for kids. And it's like, why do y'all feel like y'all have to do that? Because I guess they want to sell merchandise or whatever. But
Yeah.
getting back to the things that I did like about the show, first of all, again, the character, the diversity in storytelling, whether you're using sign language, whether you're using, you know, uh, the really complex natures of her like racial background. Like I really dig that. I think that that makes the character is it makes a more robust show. But this is where I have a problem with the way that Marvel does things. I tend to think of like these as comic books just because as someone who read comic books.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they have to do it this way. Like
Mhm.
if you have a character that people tend to like from a show, we've already seen this character in an entire show, right? Multiple episodes. Why not just do like some like why is What If so successful? Why
Mhm.
is Tales of the Jedi so successful? Why? Because it's like one shot to tell a story. You love it or hate it, but if you
Mhm.
love it, it leaves you being like, I want more of this. But
Mhm.
that's it's always a good feeling. You don't want somebody to be like, man, this overstayed its welcome. Like I don't feel like you want them to feel like, man, that was really good. So why not
Right.
do like like a 90-minute one shot episode where you can just tell her story? You don't have to have five episodes, right? Tell her story, do something cool with it, and now we like the character. Whereas I feel like they make you kind of get exhausted with
Oh,
Echo. And now it's gonna be like the next time Echo's in a show, I'm gonna be like, now she
oh
got
gosh.
superpowers and like
She's supposed
she's
to be in it. She's supposed to
mystical
be an
and
Avenger, bro. So
I'm
how
like,
about that? How about that?
why does this have to be this way? Why don't you just use? I feel like Zack Snyder, like just use the source material. Like,
Right.
why does Echo need to be an Avenger? You have so
Yeah.
many characters that you could use already.
Okay.
So, with that being said, again, out of 10, I'm gonna have to give it like a 6. It just did not land in the way that I would have wanted it to land, and obviously by me not even taking it all the way through, I lost
Oh,
interest.
well, we'll explain to you after Sam goes what exactly happens. I'll set the scene for you
Yeah,
because when you actually go watch that last 15 minutes, you're going to be underwhelmed.
So, believe it or not, guys, as the resident DC fan here, I actually think you guys are being too harsh on this show. I actually, yeah.
That's
Jovi, you know
crazy.
how much I hate these things.
Yeah.
I think I liked it more than both of you. So first off, the 5 episode thing, I don't think 5 was enough. I was just watching. I don't know if I talked to you about it, Jovi. I'm making a video about Yu Yu Hakusho, which just came out, which was also
Yeah.
5 episodes. And I'm just like, this is a weird number. Why are you doing this? Now, to your point, Jovi, it seems like this is one of those things where they just made a movie and then cut it into 5 pieces.
Yeah.
Which hasn't really worked in the past, and I don't think it works necessarily here. I actually think it could have been longer. You could have fleshed some more stuff out. But I don't think I hated it. With the exception of that second episode that we talked about, where I felt like not a lot happened.
The train heist?
I very much enjoyed it. The side characters, I agree, they are useless, but they do show. I guess the point is to show that she had a life before she was what she was to the Kingpin.
you could do that in 5 minutes. You could do that in 5 minutes.
Yes, but I mean, I guess they wanted it to feel like when she goes home, they didn't want it to feel like one of those video games where the NPCs don't do anything. Like they wanted it to feel like lived in. Like Maya's back. Oh, Maya, we have a past with Maya.
Why is she home?
I got one for you right here, and I rarely stop you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where Grandma and Kingpin are talking. I learned it from my daughter. I keep it up for my granddaughter. Why is everybody else speaking American Sign Language? Why does everyone else remember when Maya was what, 5, 6, maybe 6 when she left, and everybody still is like fluent, like still remembers everything. Now, that may be a part of the Native American culture that I don't know or we don't know. Like,
or maybe they just remembered it.
I mean, movie logic, I guess.
Movie like, bro, full conversations. We just came from Colombia 2 months ago. We know this much Spanish. We could get around, but if we don't speak it every day, I'm not going to be able to pick that joint back up like this. Especially like Biscuits. Biscuits looks younger than everybody else. So Biscuits was maybe 3 when Maya left. So why does Biscuits know full? He's fluid and again, I'm being critical, but these are things I'm thinking about while I'm watching. I was like, damn, this is cool. But why does her whole family speak? And maybe it is a trait because it does go from generation to generation. If you're deaf or a person of hard of hearing, it can translate. So maybe from before her mom, everybody spoke ASL. So it's like these are things like I'm trying to make it make sense. You know how I go deeper. Like, why does the whole family speak ASL? Like, why? That's all I was thinking. Like, cool. You can communicate with Maya. No one else can. Until Kingpin put that thing in her eye. And it's like, oh, now we can talk. Family.
Yeah.
And it's just that's it. Go. Sorry. I just had to get that off.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's not something I actually thought of, so I'm glad you brought it up. I just assumed they just remembered it. But yeah, so I guess I was saying you guys talked about the representation, which I agree with. You talked about Echo enough, like she was great. But yeah, and I dug the action that was in this. Although I'm gonna ask, I don't understand. So she's a regular before she unlocks her potential. She's a regular person, and she
Yes,
is like picking up grown men and body slamming them. And
but
I did not understand how she was doing
she's
that.
martial arts. She's been doing martial arts since she was what 6, 7 years old. So she's
But look at her frame, bro. That's all I'm saying.
techniques, man. Techniques. I didn't even
Movie
think
logic.
into that one. Movie logic and superhero movie logic,
Yeah, I mean
and
they
the fact
did
that
it
she's a
enough.
trained.
Like when they were fighting in the arcade, like when she was taking out people with
Oh man, when they went
like
through the
punches and
wall.
stuff. She punched some. She got someone through a wall. Then she
Yeah,
literally picked up another dude and threw him onto a pinball machine.
that
And
joke
I
was
was
dope.
like,
This is
you
probably one of
look
my
like
favorite
really
scenes in a
strong
long.
right now.
Yeah,
What happened?
I said it's probably one of my favorite scenes in a long time.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
That joke was cool. Like she.
Right. Yeah, like always,
So
you know
I
exactly what I'm talking about. But everything else, I'm cool with. Like her knowing how to shoot and everything, I thought it was great.
yeah, she's a
And
trained
then
assassin.
Kingpin, like you said.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, every show he's been in, he's been
right.
fantastic.
Give me
Vincent
that.
D'Onofrio,
Yes,
fantastic as Kingpin.
bro. He can
The only
play.
thing I will
Talk
say I
about his
dislike,
range. Talk about his
yeah,
range.
yeah, he's also. It's funny. I saw him in. I don't know if you've seen what he looks like when he's not Kingpin, but he looks completely different.
He's a
I
pretty.
didn't recognize him.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
He
curly
has like hair
hair.
and a goatee and
Yeah,
everything. He
yeah,
was in a Kevin Hart movie. I was like, wait a minute, is that the Kingpin? But
yeah.
anyway, on Echo, the only thing I will say, I'm gonna say something I said with Shang-Chi. In Shang-Chi, when they started out and he was fighting on the bus on the streets of San Francisco, remember how I said I thought that was amazing?
Right.
But somehow by the end of the movie, he's riding a dragon in a mystical village that's not already a map in the world. So this one it kind of took that same trajectory. I'm like, I could tell that something was being inherited because every episode they're showing it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, why are you giving her these powers right now?
Right.
Come on, man. I didn't like that.
It cheapened the character
For
for me,
this
man.
story, let me say that I didn't
Yes,
like it at
it
this point in
does.
her story.
It does. I would have. It cheapens her character. I did not like that, and I would much rather had this mystical aspect of her character come later.
Exactly right. That's
I would
exactly
have
how I
enjoyed.
feel.
I'm taking from what you said that this could have been longer and more fleshed out, and I'm taking what Matt's saying with it could have been 90 minutes. It was in between, and that's the wrong way to do this character.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
could either like knock it out with a cool ass quick 90-minute joint like of her doing an assignment, or we could have got an actual movie.
Just imagine you start the movie with 30 minutes of what happened right after she shoots Kingpin.
Yeah.
The second 30 minutes of the movie is literally a flashback of her working her way up through the ranks
Ooh.
with Kingpin.
Ooh.
And then the last part of the movie, it's 30 minutes leading up to her fight with Kingpin at the end of the show. Like it would have been, it could have been way more like precise, and it would be more reason for you to be like, I need to see more of her.
Yeah.
Whereas like now, bro, like, you wasted all of this time out in Oklahoma. No shade to Oklahoma, but like when we are introduced to this character, you're talking about gang members, city, Kingpin environment. That's what I fell in love with this character. Like I wanted, like when you think about, they didn't play up the things that they could have played up in this show. You think about Daredevil, another person who has lived life with a disability or impairment. They played that up. Like the idea that he can't see and he's fighting these characters, I needed that Daredevil level of attention to the fact that she cannot hear, and like how to navigate in that space.
Well, man, to
didn't
be
play it up.
fair, a lot of times the sound cut out when she's fighting to show it from her perspective.
That's cool. I mean, but regular movies do that. Let's be real. Regular movies, like a loud explosion happens, it's always the like they have to play it up to a point where it's like, I see them being able to like do things with like, I mean, there could have been jump scares if they have no audio and we can't see something coming because we can't hear it, make us feel like we are her. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
there's so
no.
many aspects of it that, oh man, I wanted to see a fight scene with her, like really playing up the fact that she has one leg, like more so than just them taking it off of her, cutting her daggone.
Yeah,
It's fine.
that's as far as you're probably gonna
It's
get
as
with
far
that
as
scene in
yeah. I mean, like
episode 3.
they could have played it up, man. Like,
Yeah.
and it
No, it'd have
just,
been dope to get like vibrations, like
you see what I'm saying?
a physical representation of vibrations and like
How did she
yeah,
get to this place where
yeah,
she can hone these skills? Like,
yeah.
what happens? Like, how do you just not know how to hear? However, your coordination and your balance is perfect. Like, that doesn't
Yeah.
just happen. Where did you train? How did you get to this point? Like,
Yeah, no, I think that's why she works
I know.
so well in the Hawkeye series. That's what made like she works
because it was a
so
mysterious.
yeah,
It was
Yeah.
like, who was this? Wait a minute.
yeah,
And she was fighting
Yeah,
them
yeah,
like on par, which
yeah.
yeah.
is just. But again, I mean
Still to that second
that plays into.
episode. Yo, I mean, the first episode, she held her own with Daredevil. She held her own with Daredevil.
And this is before she was.
And
even
now I
in-
think they're
this is before
probably
she
going
was
to.
even Echo. I mean, well,
Right.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that's her name, but this was before she was even where she was as like
She was
Kingpin's like right
Maya.
hand. Right. This was like the
Yeah, she's just
early
naturally gifted. That's what
regular
it is.
hoodie Maya. She ain't never even
Yeah.
shot nobody before. She walking in there like, I don't know. This her snapping that Bama's neck was the first time she killed somebody.
Yeah.
You could
She
tell,
was
right? So it's
Mhm.
like,
that
and
scene.
she was going
Yeah.
toe to
Didn't she
toe.
kill the security guard who was like touching on her?
Yeah.
She killed him, right? That's what I thought.
She went after she got that first taste. She got up and that adrenaline was going through her body. And that's why there's speculations like, well, maybe she's an X-Men too. She's a mutant. She has other abilities that we can't see.
You see, I don't see again. That would make me upset if that actually happened.
I would love that.
Take TikTok.
I would love
because
now-
it makes her make a little more sense.
Now I buy into it. Now I'm
even
like,
you
okay.
saying how to.
But she already has her mystical powers. How's she gonna be an X-Man too?
And the mystical powers makes it annoying. That makes it annoying for me. It's just like that's my least favorite part of it. You could have
So bad. Hold on.
Bruh,
You're
you
okay
could've
if she's a
still had
mutant,
those-
but not with mystical powers? Like I don't
Yes.
understand.
Because this is the reason why. This is a brand new set of mystical abilities that we've never been introduced to.
Okay.
I appreciate the lore of it. I think that they could have very easily intertwined the lore and just made it like, yo, the reason why these people continue to believe is because they continue to have a mutant gene, right? They could have tied that in, right? And made it so that that is the reason why they believe what they believe, right?
Mhm.
But
Okay.
we are already very invested in the mutant gene. We already know that it exists. We're just waiting for it to be slid in there and introduced.
Like who's
If
gonna have it?
they-
Who is going to
Man.
be the like?
Okay.
Who's
And now
gonna be
you're
the
upset.
arc into
Yeah.
into X-Men? Besides, we're not going to talk about the Marvels.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that should not have been at the end.
I agree.
That
But
had
so
nothing to do
you're
with, nothing to do with X-Men.
Yeah, no. But okay, so Matt, I guess you're saying because it's a brand new thing, that's just another thing that we have to now be on the lookout for when they could have just done the exchange. I mean, I get that. I guess.
How about this? This is perfect segue. Miss Marvel also has mystical powers.
I don't know why. Why does she have to have mystical powers?
This
Why
is
does she have to
another
have
character
angles
with
and all
mystical
of this stuff?
powers.
Like, why? Why not just go? You have the material already.
Just make
All
her
of it
arm
is
bigger.
ridiculous. Right? All of it is ridiculous.
Make her hand
Just make
bigger
her
and
arm bigger.
and let her be able to stretch. But
'Cause
she
that's the
has to have
coolest-
mystical powers.
That's the coolest part.
I don't
about
know. I mean, I know I'm super critical of the MCU. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've lost so much I don't care enough. But it's just I feel if they just needed a way to say this is why this is the way this person is, then I'm just like, all right, whatever, you got it.
But what we're
I'm at
saying
that point.
is, I feel like they're going to say, yes, all of these mystical things are in this universe, but they all have the mutant gene. X-Men drops next summer. Like that's what I feel like they're going towards.
Jovi, here's the thing. If they do that, then that would undercut the whole mystical thing, and that would be dumb. That would make this series pointless.
It's just
I mean, the series is already kind of pointless. Let's be real.
it's so all right, Matt. Let's explain.
I want to say,
last
Jovi,
15
tell
minutes.
us how it ends, bro.
Okay.
Tell us how it ends.
So
So Matt knows.
Maya gets a call and she runs to her grandmother's house. She has her gun out, she's going around, she's like, oh no, they had to have they took grandma, they took biscuits, they took everybody.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Rewind.
Not a call,
Maya
sorry,
gets
text message.
okay. I'm like, what? She gets a call. How did that work? She definitely got some mystical powers. Like,
Yo!
she can hear the finger waving through the phone.
Yo!
She gets a text message and she runs to grandma's house. She pops into grandma's workshop. Her mom's standing there. Her
Okay.
mom is a spirit. It's not, of
Okay.
course, it's not her mom.
Here we go.
She does her little healing powers, goes into
Mhm.
Maya's brain, talks her through all these things. Yes, no, well, this is important. Mhm. Goes into Maya's brain, goes into her history, goes into her pain, and just talks about how everybody has her. She's part of all this, and she has family. Maya,
Mhm.
okay. She disappears. When she disappears, Echo looks, and it's her whole costume. Grandma made her a costume in a day. She puts it on.
You
She
can
goes
so quickly, but go ahead.
Yep. Goes to the powwow. Kingpin's upset, of course, because Maya was, you saw their interaction in the hotel room and all that, right? Yeah, that's the end of the 4th episode. He's like, oh, so she not coming? Cool. Take her to actually kidnap her still, not take her out, and just says all these men are going to the powwow to kidnap Maya.
Mhm.
I mean, a whole like force. It's just for one woman with no mutant powers, no they don't even know she has mystical powers.
Right.
All these things happen. Biscuits turns the mail truck into a monster truck and he runs over the entire force. Yep, because no one's opening the back door and getting out of the 2 vans they're sitting in. No, they're going to sit there and let the monster truck go over it, right?
He has the resources to do that
To
as
build a
well.
monster truck, it was about 2 days
Yo, y'all
time.
must have. I thought I would become critical.
I mean, but bro,
Yo,
like
but go ahead.
the movie logic is just on. Oh, it's
Right.
OD, bro. Like this, like,
Yeah.
come on.
So he's an engineer and a mechanic that we didn't know. So cool. Now Biscuits has a purpose. He can build stuff for Maya.
Okay.
All right. So all these things happen. Her uncle shoots the cool Russian dude in the head. They all end up in a room together. They kidnap grandma and her other cousin. Kingpin does another speech, another spiel. Maya, we're family. And
That way too well, bro.
Yeah. Exactly.
and he goes and they're talking back and they take her gun, they put her down, she's on her knees, hands start glowing. Grandma's hands start glowing.
Got the glow.
Cousin's hands start glowing.
Oh my gosh.
All of the ancestors come and give them
Yes.
powers. They fight everybody. Kingpin's like, "Arrgh!" and runs at Maya. Maya does the mom joint, goes into Kingpin's brain, and goes to the day he killed his dad. Now that was pretty cool. And she's like, does her signing and says, you don't have to hurt anymore. And he's just standing there and he can't move. He's like, you don't have to hurt anymore. Does a whole little speech, comes out of his brain. He's stuck, like, and they just grab him and they roll out. And he's like, what did you do? What did you do? And it's like, because I guess she took his rage, because we all know that is part of Kingpin's powers too, his rage. So she took his rage. Everybody's happy. He's on a plane going away. They're talking about the politics in New York. He's sitting on the plane and they're like, they need somebody that's not a politician to come through. And he sits up in his chair and he looks at the TV and it's like, So, like I said, set up. Kingpin
Mhm.
literally is going to take over New York. But
He already did that in Daredevil season 1. He ran for politics then.
Right. So it's
so
like
that's. But go ahead.
right.
Maybe
So
they're just trying to I don't know.
So this opens the door for the street level crime stuff that we all loved from our childhood. But what else are we going to get? There's nothing else on that long list of movies and TV shows that has anything to do with this. That's what I said. You didn't miss anything. It didn't show anything. It showed. And then after that scene, Maya pulls up and she has dinner with her her real family. And so she didn't even go back to New York.
Ah,
Yeah, so she's just in Oklahoma with these mystical powers, chilling with.
and
Yeah, he's going to join the team.
I guess.
Yeah.
But
So, and then
Nick
if she is
Fury's
going to
gonna
be an
show up at her
Avenger,
door. Yeah. So
it's going to open the door for the new Avengers, the young Avengers.
Or maybe Thunderbolt. She's too old for Young Avengers. Oh, actually, maybe not.
Yeah, she's what in real life only like
26.
I don't know. It is a little too old for.
she can play a 21. She can play a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't think she's 20 in the series though.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's how it ends. And it's just like it took away from my original score because I was like, this happened really fast. And it didn't give me anything at the end. Like, cool, I'm happy. You're with your friends. I mean, your family. That's it. I don't know. I am so critical on this. I've been getting more critical this year, but I still, again, I enjoyed this.
When you have shows like Daredevil, shows like it's like it can be good. It can be exceptional. Like it's just the way that, and I feel like I don't know if it's we getting older, but like it doesn't have to follow the same like pattern of like, oh, it's got to be a little bit silly, and it's got. I mean, she's not a silly character. She's
Mm-mm.
never been a silly character. I don't want you to make her a silly character. This is the reason why we thought she was cool. Like, it doesn't have to be that way, right? So I feel like, you know, it just might be that maybe we thought that this was going to be a show that was specifically for us in like the TV MA realm,
Yeah,
and it
I
just
like I said,
yeah,
I thought we were going to get Daredevil. I
yeah.
really did.
I
really did.
have a question. I have a question for you guys. And maybe that's why this is the way I think about this. Maybe I'm a little nicer to the show.
Yeah.
Was this better or worse than Secret Invasion? Oh, come on. You don't have to think about that. Come on, y'all.
Secret Invasion was a mess.
It was a mess,
Okay.
but there were things that I liked about Secret Invasion that make me feel like it was at least to me personally, I enjoyed I enjoyed the makeup of Secret Invasion more than I enjoyed the payoff. Like the acting was phenomenal.
The
I
espionage.
liked the espionage. I just felt like that storyline wasn't given. If they would have just called that show like something else, and I've been saying this for a while, I feel like they need to dial back all of this big movie budget type thing. They should have been a whole show called Secret Invasion that featured people that we've never seen before, no name actors and actresses, and you gave them the same platform that you gave Agents of Shield, where
So
you could have just
you
had
enjoyed
four
Agents of Shield,
seasons. Yeah, you could have 4 seasons,
yeah.
5 seasons of 20 episodes where you can really play out a bunch of
Yeah.
real cool storylines, different arcs within it, just like a comic book. These little 5 episode miniseries, they don't do it justice. Like it just doesn't do it justice.
Well, okay. So it sounds like you're saying, so both of you are saying you think this was on par with Secret Invasion?
I didn't
think that's
enjoy
more
Secret.
fair.
I'm
I
actually
didn't enjoy
going
Secret
somewhere with this.
Invasion.
That's why I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
Because
no,
I think
I
that
personally
I think
didn't
that's
enjoy
from
Secret Invasion.
For me, exactly what you said. I think that they're on par with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, was this better or worse than the Marvels? Did you enjoy this more or
So
less than the Marvels?
this is what
I
I this
like
is what
the
I'll
Marvel.
this is what I'll say because
It
the
was
Marvels was a movie. I'll
yeah.
say this was on par with Ms. Marvel. I think Ms.
Yeah,
Marvel might have been a little bit
no,
better, like
Miss
than
Marvel
both of
was
those.
better. And I
But
got to
like
watch Miss Marvel like after I saw the Marvels, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm mad I didn't give it a chance when it dropped. That was a
I would say
more
Ms. Marvel was better.
yeah,
But
that was
like
more fleshed out.
to compare it to a movie, I feel like it's a little bit not
So I
fair.
guess the point I'm making, I guess, or when I was trying to
That
make,
nothing has been
with
good.
the recent stuff that's come out, with it's being so polarizing to some and just being straight up bad to others.
Yeah,
This show to come out and just be okay, like you
yeah.
said, refreshing or enjoyable, or a 7 out, or what did you say, man? A 6 out of 10.
I give it a 6.
I think that's something. I
I
really
give
do.
it, but I'd give each of those 6s. Each of those shows, I'd give Secret Invasion a 6. I would give
Oh my
Ms. Marvel
gosh.
probably a 7.
What did
Oh
we give
my
Secret
gosh.
Invasion?
I would give it a
We
Nah,
6.
gave it
bro.
a pretty low score.
I
Um,
mean,
I like this. I would say I like this a little better. I just Secret Invasion was just too. It talk about payoff. Nothing.
yeah, the payoff was not worth it,
Nothing.
All right.
No,
especially for it to
I
be
I
called Secret
I
Invasion.
I guess in my head, like Jovi was getting to, so much has been bad since Quantumania that when there's something that comes out and I'm like, you know what, I enjoyed a lot of this. I feel like I just want to give it the credit. I'm like, I liked this.
I agree.
I haven't
I agree.
seen Miss Marvel yet, but I'll give it a chance since you said that, Jovi.
No, it's actually it's like one episode that could have not been in the whole series. The rest are great written, put together. It's not as kiddie as you think it's going to be. She actually has like a arc. You learn
Mm,
her culture, you learn why she has the power she has and the mystical side of it. And then there's like three plot lines going, and then one definitely gets lost in it because that's what they love to do. You know how they just
right,
love to throw everything at you. But with that
right.
series, that joint's solid. And I'm it wasn't made for us. We talk about what's made for us.
Right?
That
Yeah,
jump was
that was
made for
not made
teenage
for us.
girls.
You
It was
kind of
Yeah.
not
had to
made for
like
us.
get into a mode,
Yeah.
and once you got into that mode, you could really appreciate it for what
Yeah.
it
It
was.
really was made for teenagers and specifically teenage girls to
This
get
show was
them.
supposed to be made for us.
Yes, I thought that
They
this was
def
going to be Daredevil. That's why my
Come
score
on, this is the
it
coolest thing.
yeah, it gets taken down a little bit because of that. So Sam,
Joey, what are you gonna give this?
I
What are
was
you
gonna
gonna give
ask
this?
you first. What are you gonna give this, Sam?
Bruh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say it's
Nah,
a
bro.
3. I'm gonna say a 3.5, bro. That's me. So
Out of
I guess
5,
out of
Okay,
5.
okay. Oh well, I think we're in the same spot. But you did you. I thought you were gonna give it higher. I think it's a solid
No, I mean I
3.5.
acknowledge it has its problems, but I think it's
Yeah,
enjoyable. Like 3 out of 5,
I
I
mean,
think that's perfectly
that's
fine.
yeah. I mean, that's like me giving it a 6.5. Like, it's
right.
not.
Yeah,
It's three and a half.
I again, if you're going to watch this, get some popcorn and watch it as a movie.
Hmm.
It's not something that you split up. I was thoroughly excited to watch it because it was like something I did while I was walking on the treadmill. So that was fun, but it was like this is done. I got to go do something else. This episode happened. I got to go do something else. This I watched 2 in a row. Oh, I like that. That makes more sense. I it all came together, and then that last 15 minutes of that last episode was like I want her back in New York City, as Matt said. Um, yeah, and I
You know what it
agree with you.
reminded me of?
What?
It reminded me of the second season of Jessica Jones.
Ah, yes, yes,
Oh, the
yes,
bad season.
That's
yes.
what it reminded me of. It reminded me of the second season of Jessica Jones because it's like, is the story that's being told something that like we are actually interested or invested in? After you've set the ground with Jessica Jones, you've set the ground with
Excuse me.
Jessica Jones in the first interactions we've had with her. We know what to expect, right? Crime
Right.
fights, detective, alcoholic, like we know these things. This is what we expect. And then once we're like getting around to like, okay, we're gonna get more of that. Now we get all of this other stuff. that we're not really that invested in, and you like hijack the entire story,
Right.
and we're like, well, can we get back to like her like getting drunk and
Your
having
face,
sex?
yeah.
Like, like that's what she did. She was like getting drunk and having sex. Like that's what she wanted to do. Like that's where
Yeah.
we fell in love with
And
the character.
was a detective. That
Right.
Yeah.
And like
was
it was
cool.
a detective. I mean, it was a TVMA representation of a character that we read about.
Yeah.
So like now
Okay.
it's like I just was like, bro, like what the heck? Like we
I
just
do
saw this.
know this show. I mean, I feel like there are a lot more people on your guys' side than my side. I know this show, like, it's not what people expected. So I think you guys are probably in the majority, but it is what it is, man.
It's upsetting though because it is a really cool character.
Such a
Yeah.
cool character.
And then so like the idea that it doesn't do well, which Marvel shows have not been doing well. The Disney execs are going to say no. Whatever script y'all have for next, whatever you want to do, just go put it on the shelf.
Why does she
We're,
have a
we're
costume? Like, why does she have a costume?
He has a costume in the comics, bro.
Why does she have a costume?
but she
Why
was
does she
going
have a
to the
costume?
powwow. She was
Yeah,
going to the
y'all are, and the
powwow.
fact that you keep
Do you
calling it a
understand?
powwow, man.
Do you understand how
Y'all, okay.
ridiculous it would have been
Hey,
if
we get like, go ahead.
at the end of Luke Cage he came out with a gold shirt and braces on his arms, like he like somebody made him a costume. Even though he has a costume, the way that we're telling this story, it's a realistic world perception of this character. We don't have to
Why does
like
Daredevil have a costume in his show?
now.
He didn't need it. He
Now
didn't need it.
you're right, but in our defense, right? It made sense for the story. It made sense from the story because he wanted to become a symbol. It's like very Batman-esque, right? Like it's actually written into the story. He's Catholic, but he wants to become a symbol of fear. He wants to become a
Mhm.
symbol, and then like even and this is the thing. This show, that Daredevil show, introduced an entire phase that comic book fans absolutely love and consider like canon now, which is like black long shirt, black shirt over the eyes Daredevil. He was a
Yeah,
black shirt over the eyes Daredevil for like half of the first season,
Yeah,
most of the first season.
exactly.
We
most of the
loved
first season.
that, right? He didn't get the suit until the last episode,
Yeah,
so it's like
That's what I'm saying. And he didn't need that suit in the last episode, did
he
he?
didn't need it, but it makes
So,
sense.
but Maya didn't need it, and she got. See, you being unfair now, y'all.
But it
That's all.
makes no sense for
so
Maya's
with
character.
Maya's,
It
I
makes
thought
no sense.
Maya's was going to be bulletproof, slash proof, all that stuff. I thought that's what they were going to give her because there was lots of like, I guess not leaked images because I don't think Disney and Marvel cared enough, but you saw that suit like a lot, and I'm like, cool. Like, who made her a classic Native American suit that's going to be bulletproof? I thought Kingpin was going to bring it in. I was not
Right.
expecting Grandma to have a little montage of her hitting the yes, that's literally what it was, and hitting the giant. I didn't know that's what we were going to get. I thought Kingpin was going to have, oh, you have your family,
Right.
and he brings in this like, this was made by my team. Please
Hmm.
come be the queen pin. And
Okay.
she's standing there with that joint on because she now remembers her history.
I would
She's
have
been,
actually liked her to be the queen pin and go back. That's I would have liked that. I would have liked that turn in the
I thought
story.
that's how I was going. And then
Nah,
she
she's
like
a super. I think
and then
she's a
she
hero,
turned.
right?
Yeah, she's a hero, but I thought
Yeah,
it
she's
was
a
gonna
hero. Yeah.
I thought that's what it was gonna be. She goes back and she turns on him, and then that's how we
I like her
get
better
her
as a
to be.
villain.
You said what?
I like her better as
Yeah.
a villain.
Yeah. I don't
I need
so
more fights
everybody
with
used to
her.
make not used to, people still make fun of Hawkeye, right? For not having powers, but he's with, the Avengers. How are they going to handle the idea she has mystical powers, but she doesn't have power? So her powers gives her super strength, gives her more she can shoot or hit anything with any, like she has like bullseye powers too. Like, when I think about it, it's like she's like Daredevil villains all mixed in one.
As I just said, I need more of her fighting
Yeah.
Daredevil. Like it makes sense. There's one person that can't see, one person that can't hear. I mean, can we? It writes itself.
Yeah.
It writes itself. Like
So
All right, man.
yeah,
Maybe she'll be
we've got
born again, and y'all will be happy.
heck yeah.
I need for her.
Even if
But
they're fighting alongside each other, I'll be down for that.
I want Maya to be. I like Maya when she's more of an anti-hero than like just straight up hero. I don't like the idea of her
Daredevil's
just
really
being
not a
a good
hero
person.
either, for real, for
I
real.
need a
He
straight.
does everything for the right reasons, though.
Yeah, he's the
And he doesn't kill people.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill. Maya kills people.
I want Maya to be more like the Punisher.
Maya killed people through this series.
Right,
Yeah,
we got
a lot
the
of them.
Punisher. I mean, they gave us what we wanted.
Right.
They gave us what we wanted with the Punisher.
All right, we are running up against it though, y'all. So
right.
let's go ahead and sign out. Yeah. If you guys listened to us for this 50 plus minutes, thank you so much for sticking around. We appreciate it. Hopefully you've typed something in the comments already telling us one of us is wrong or one of us is right or something. But if not, go ahead and hit that, or go ahead and do that down there as Joey's pointing. Hit that little subscribe button and the bell for us too. And yeah, go ahead and check out Lunch Money Reviews. Matt, thank you so much for joining us, bro. We appreciate your time.
Appreciate you guys. So let me rant.
Right.
No worries, man. We got you guys. But yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, we out.
Deuces.